this section is we're gonna talk about more shift into like how to specifically be a better leader without giving offense or creating resentment among the people that you're leading.
This is really what
this is what Mel is here for.
Well, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for.
The first thing is begin with praise and honest appreciation. Okay, the key word there is going to be honest, because people hate insincere appreciation. I think we all know this. Like, if you've ever had someone give you a compliment that you didn't feel like was actually like unique or special to you, it was like, I don't know. I felt this a lot in basketball, where it'd be like my teammates, like if I was having a bad game or it was like a bad stretch, they'd be like, "Great job, man! Like, keep shooting." Like, it was like, it felt like everything they were saying was like a pick me up. It was like it subtly was telling me that I was not good enough to be on the court, even though it was a compliment, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was like insincere compliments actually have the opposite effect, and they drive people away. But honest appreciation is really going to kind of soften people up, let them know that like you value them and like their opinion, make them feel important. And then that's when you use, that's when you launch into your criticism. That's when you're allowed to say, hey, like you're really good at this, but it would really help if you could do A or B.
And simply put, the only thing I'm going to add to this is like, who doesn't want to be appreciated? Simply, right? So if you have an organization, a team or something, and you're not showing appreciation to, what someone's doing in that, or you never show them any appreciation, like how long are they going to go before they say, you know what, I want to go somewhere where I feel like I'm needed and I'm wanted here.
Right.
So like, this one is very straightforward, and we've probably hit this home. Like, I feel like he brought this up in the first.
He probably did. We probably talked about it a lot, actually.
Yeah. He talks about this, a lot of the same core ideas, just written in different ways. But this ties into what you brought up about starting off with honest appreciation, but talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. And I feel
is this like, yeah, I mean, it's not rocket science, but can you give us an example, I guess, or any ideas about this that might I think provide some insight that we didn't think about before?
I think number one is like, sometimes it's easy for us to just kind of automatically jump to telling someone like they made a mistake, right? And being like, yo, like you did X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah wrong. But when someone else hears that, again, their safeguard is going to go up, right? Like as soon as you just automatically, the first thing that comes out your mouth is like, hey, you should have been doing this. Like you should have written this paper this way, or
right.
You should have made sure you communicate with this person, or you shouldn't have done that. And like, parents should know this. No one here should be a parent, I hope. And I mean, if you are a parent listening to this, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, we really appreciate you.
But like even with kids, like you tell a kid automatically like, this is what you're doing wrong, they're just gonna look at you and be like, do it again. Right? Like, just do it again. But if you let someone know, hey, this is where I've messed up. Like, I've been in the same similar situation. I've done this. Again, this softens them up. This lets their guard down and say like, oh, okay, like this person is, this person's seeing it from my side of view. The way they begin to perceive it is like, okay, they're putting themselves in my shoes, letting me know that they've been through what I'm going through right now. But then they're going to provide helpful information. So they realize that the information is coming from a place of sincerity. It's coming from a place of experience, rather than coming from just a place of like position of power, position of leadership, bossing around. Because the closer you are, and one thing I'm realizing about just like leadership is like, the closer you make yourself feel into the group, that the people you're leading, the easier it is to communicate, because it's much easier to, get your peers to want to do something to get don't view your people this way, but subordinates, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the only word I could think about. But like, if you view people in your org as subordinates or just people that are there to listen to you, they're not going to get anything done. Yeah. But if you view them as, equal, your peers, like y'all are all working towards this one mission, which is the idea of an organization or company, then they're more likely inclined.
Right. You said it. I could not have said it better myself. I would just reiterate, just for a second, just that the reason this works is because it comes from a place of sincerity and a place of real concern for the other person and their well-being, rather than a place of I'm better than you and you're my subordinate, do what I say.
Mm-hmm. I just want to mention, subordinate is such an interesting word.
It is an interesting word.
Subordinate. There's just some words. Let me also mention, if you do decide to read this book, just understand this book is from like the 20s, 30s.
It's an
old book. One that just tells you how good it is. And two, but you're just going to hear a lot of like sayings and phrases. You're just like, yo, is this grandpa? This is such a boomer. So
it's a
very boomer book. It's a very, even boomers. I don't even think boomers. This is the age of boomers.
This is Well, no, boomers were born after World War II. So this is like, he wrote this so this is like before that, like pre-boomer, like maybe a generation or two.
Pre-boomer book, okay.
Anyways, the thing that this ties basically right into what Mel was saying earlier. Don't give people direct orders. Instead, you should ask them questions, okay? And I'm not sure who the example was in the book. It might have been O.N.D. Young. I could be wrong about that, though. But he said that he never, ever gave an order. He always gave questions, which was mostly like, if you're wondering, like, what does that mean? Where it's just like, instead of saying, like, Mel, do this, it's like, would you mind doing this for me? It's more of like a, hey, like, you have
favor.
Yeah, you have autonomy. It's like, it's your choice. It's like, obviously, like, yeah, I have a position of power, but it's like, I'm asking you to do it just because, like, I know you can help me, and it's like, I need your help, and obviously I pay you, but like, like that type of like, it's sincere. It's not like, do this.
And guess what other idea we just talked about that ties in, and that's letting the other person feel like it's their idea. Because when you ask a question instead of proposing it as an order, the person, like, it makes the person think, okay, I have options.
Right.
I'm either choosing to do it or not choosing to do it. Right.
Exactly.
So when they choose to do it, a part of them feels more committed to the thing they're supposed to do, because they're like, I had the choice to do it or not do it, and I chose to do it. So like, let me make sure I do it.
Right.
Wow, this is an amazing one. Like I'm honestly gonna probably take this and
and it's so easily applicable. It's like all you have to do is just phrase your orders as questions, right? And it hits a lot of things, and it's like, there's no drop. You don't have to do anything special here. It's easy, it's effective, it works. Like,
and if you're in a position of leadership and you're thinking like, well, what if they just always choose to not do it? Well, then you have those consequences in your organization that lets them know. So it's weird because like you ask them the question as if you're giving them the option to say yes or no, but it's the fact that you're letting them know that like you're letting them know that they're important enough where they can make a decision. Yeah. Right. So it gives them that feeling, and that's what you want to be giving, and that's how you should be viewing your people. Because like, even though we're saying all these like these tips and tricks, they're not really tips and tricks. It's just a way. It's practically the way a sincere leader would actually be acting. Yeah. I wouldn't view these as like, oh, just do this simple trick and then turn your orders into question and you're going to be effective. Right. You want to be sincerely doing this. Like, you sincerely think and like believe that the people in your organization are competent and willing to do the right thing. Exactly. And so that's why you frame it that way in that question, because you truly believe it. So that's just one thing I really wanted to say, just because, like, again, the book sounds very malicious. These tips can sound like we're just trying to get you guys to be manipulative people, but like we're just trying to genuinely let you guys know the perspective from a sincere leader.
This is not like, these are not tips and tricks. These are literally like the most effective methods that Dale Carnegie has pulled from his years of research on how to effectively, sincerely, and deal with people, right? This is like the best methods to deal with people. This is not tips and tricks. These work because they work. They work. Right? They work. Anyways, the next thing that I want to go over is, or that we're going to go over, is praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. We're not going to touch on this too much, because it's pretty. It goes
hand in hand with giving sincere and honest appreciation.
Right. And basically, the idea is that positive reinforcement works a lot better than negative reinforcement. I think we talked about that last episode, so I won't elaborate on that too much. But basically, when you're giving a lot of praise and appreciation for even the slightest improvement, people want to keep improving and keep holding themselves to that standard, because they want to keep having that appreciation for doing a good job, and that will reinforce good behavior, good results, whatever. So letting people know that what they're doing is good, making sure it's sincere, will push them to keep doing a good job and even go further.
And then another way to positively reinforce from the beginning is give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. I just love the way it's fine.
Can you do that again for me?
Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. And if you're not watching the video, you're missing out on me, putting my thumbs up and just giving the old man, I don't know. But this, again, is very similar to the other idea, so we won't hit on it for long. But if you tell someone like, yo, like, dude, you're a really good speaker, Ben. Like when I listen to you talk, like, I'm interested. And I remember, like, even Jen and them were saying that at the beginning. They were like, Ben, like, I would just hear you talk all day. you give that person that reputation, and then you give them something related to that task. Like, hey, Ben, do you want to start a podcast? Ben's like, well, I guess I have a reputation of being a great speaker. Like, people like listening to me. Right. I guess I'll do it.
Yeah, no, I think I could do that.
I could probably say some words on the microphone.
Spit a little, yeah.
Spit a little. Spit some bars, Ben. Yeah, we said he's a fine speaker, not a rapper.
Yeah, no, I can't rap.
Nah, but yeah. So again, this ties in positive reinforcement, because once you give someone that reputation to live up to, like, we most of the times we want to fulfill that. We care a lot about what other people think
for good reason.
For good reasons.
I will say you should care about the people who are close to you, not strangers. But keep going.
Yeah, not strangers. Like, yeah. So
anyways, it's total side note.
Total side note. But we'll definitely hit on that point more. But yeah, that's really the main core ones, and then the rest of the ideas brought up, because there was 9 of them. And so some of the other ones were make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. So this ties in again a lot with like making them feel like it's their idea,
understanding their point of view, making sure you understand why they want to do all this stuff. Yeah.
Use encouragement, make the fault seem easy to correct, right? Someone makes a mistake, again, don't just criticize them, don't just correct, like use encouragement, let them know that it's fixable, right? And obviously if they do it over and over again, that's a different problem. And then let the other person save face. And can you explain what this means?
Real quickly, basically, don't embarrass someone for no reason, right? So if you have to tell someone that they're wrong, make sure you do it in private. Let the other person save their pride and their let them save their pride in front of others. The example they gave in the book was just like the head of a plant, he like just completely criticize and embarrass his supervisor in front of clients, in front of his employees and everything, and the supervisor just left. He was like, no, I don't want to work here, right? So let them save face. All the plant manager had to do was just do it in private instead of yelling at him in front of everyone. So just don't embarrass people for no reason. It doesn't make any sense. It's kind of like the whole arguing thing. You're just insulting them.